What's going on, Phantom Force and Cosmogs fans alike? This is Phantom Base coming at you with our Week 1 ITL match of Season 6. We are up against Alpha Drops, coach of the... Lord, what is his team name? I believe it is the Rocky Mountain Marowaks. That's what it is. As you can see, our teams are listed up here. He's brought Tangreth, Empoleon, Leavanny, Infernape, Zapdos, and Tapu Lele. We have Mega Manectric, Reuniclus, Kieran, Blacklanders, Therian, Fortress, and Suicune. Before I begin, let's go ahead and kind of go over the team really quick. Mega Manectric is your standard modest offensive one. Enough speed to outspeed his fastest Pokemon, which I believe, or this fast Pokemon not leaving any. I think I crept Infernape with it, and we're modest to do that. Rocking Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Hidden Power, Grass, and Flamethrower. HP Grass was for the Swampert that could come, but it did not, so that's okay. Also for I can't remember what the other mon it was for in particular. Next we have our Reuniclus, which our dedicated switch into Tapu Lele is the Assault Vest Regenerator Reuniclus with Psyshock, Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, and Knockoff. Signal Beam for things like Tangreth and Leavanny, Psyshock for everything, Shadow Ball for Tapu Lele in particular, but Tapu Lele actually is to get killed by Psyshock under Psychic Terrain anyway. And Knockoff for general utility to get rid of items on things that particularly could be annoying, like Scarf Mons or the Assault Vest on Tangreth or whatever. Next we have Scarf Kieran Black, Max, because I wanted to at least tie with Scarf Lele. Rocking Ice Beam, Iron Head, Fusion Bolt, and Earth Power. Fusion Bolt was for the Empoleon in particular, Earth Power for the Infernape, Ice Beam for general coverage to hit things like, as you see, the Leavanny, the Tangreth, and the Zapdos, and then Iron Head was specifically for Tapu Lele. Next up we have our captain of the team, Landorus Therian, rocking a Rocky MZ this week with Rock Polish, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and U-Turn, I believe. U-Turn to bluff a Scarf, Stone Edge, and Earthquake were really the only coverage I needed for this entire team once, and the plan was to get rid of Tangreth. If Tangreth's still around, we click U-Turn on it and go into something that can deal with it. At +2, we outspeed everything on his team, and we can kill most things in one shot, if not two, but as you can see here, most things die to one hit or another. We have Vista Fortress with Aqua Berry to take advantage of that sturdy, get some health back up. With, I believe we rocked Heavy Slam, Rapid Spin, Stealth Rocks, and I think Toxic Spikes. Can't remember exactly. Anyway, and yeah, that was our physical wall to deal with. I'm trying to remember what exactly it was, because there's a lot on this team that I don't remember. But the last Pokemon is Suicune, our Vista Suicune, which is rocking Scald, Ice Beam, Roar, and Toxic, I believe. Scald for general coverage and burns, Ice Beam for the mons that wall it, like Tangreth and Zapdos and Leavanny. Toxic for potential setup mons, and Roar for potential setup mons that are immune to Toxic. So, particularly with this team, the plan was to get up rocks and potentially Toxic Spikes if I could. Then use initiative with Landorus and Manectric to get into Kieran Black and get a kill pretty much every time I came in. That was the plan. However, it seems a little funky, so we're going to hop right in, and you'll see how this played out. So, we have got Alpha issuing that challenge, or Michael he's called in here, but Alpha's issuing that challenge. He leads with his Tangreth, and I decided to lead with Manectric just to, first off, just to have the fast initiative, as well as I have a pretty decent matchup against everything on his team. I noticed right away that I could Volt Switch on anything on his team. He brought no ground type. So I decided to go with that, and yeah, my next trick, I decided to go with flamethrower as the first move just to see if this thing was assault vest or not. It did like max 48% of assault vest, and we get a pretty high roll there, but we get the burn as well, which is unfortunate. But he doesn't have a lot of physical moves. I noticed as he goes for this Giga Drain, he does a lot. Um, so I decide on this next turn that we are going to we're gonna volt switch out, go into something that can somewhat better deal with this thing. And I decided that we could go into our fortress because we'll easily take a Giga Drain. And I really badly wanted to get up rocks because it's kind of important. His only hazard removal is into fog. So as you can clearly see, that Giga Drain does 0. And as he takes the burn damage, I know he's going to switch here, so we decided to go for Stealth Rock. And as he does switch to get some Regenerator back, which is, smart of him, he goes into his Empoleon. I was like, alright, this has got to be his Defogmon, or his Rocker, or something. It's like, alright, we're going to switch and get some offensive pressure here. And I know he's not going to go for a Steel type move, risking me potentially to go for a Volt Switch. But actually, no, I'm dumb. We go into our Manectric to see if he's Defiant or not, because that way he can't have to Fog. And he goes for a Scald, which is, fair play. But unfortunately, he gets a crit here and kills us. So that's unfortunate for us. Kind of a hacks for hacks, I guess. But we decided to go into our Cure in Black here because we can 2-hit kill this thing with Volt Strike easily. Even if he's got a Walking Berry, 2-hit kill is easy. So we go for a Volt Strike because he has no immunities. He didn't bring any ground types. So, and as I hit this thing, I'm like, this thing is definitely especially defensive. So he goes for an Ice Beam. I'm like, either he's not packing steel coverage, or he misclicked, or was thinking of me switching to something else. Here, he told me later that he actually the timer went out on him. And he was going to switch and go into Zapdos, but instead he got a call by timer. But in any case, it would have been I think it would have been a 2-hit kill on me, the Zapdos either way. So, especially after rocks. So he goes into Tapu Lele here, telling me he is Screaming Scarf, which means I've got to get out. We could tie, and I don't want to lose that. So I decided to go into my Assault Vest Reuniclus, which can take any 2 hits from this thing easily. And as you can see, we chew this Psychic up. I mean, we chew that up. So he switches out as I go for a knockoff, predicting his switch. And as you can see, he goes into his Tangrowth. And I'm sitting thinking, okay, this is perfect. I'm going to go for knockoff and get rid of this Assault Vest right now. And that was beautiful because we needed to get rid of that. Now, next I go for a Psyshock, expecting him to switch to get more Regenerator, but he goes for a knockoff of his own, which was a fair play because now we're not going to be taking that Psychic nearly as easily. But Psyshock here does so much to this Tangrowth. Look at this. Oh my goodness. That was a ridiculous amount. And then burn damage. He's got to switch out, and he does. So we go for a second Psyshock to hit whatever's coming in because Psychic Terrain is busted. And Zapdos does not like, in this particular instance, this Zapdos does not like this Psyshock. So we get off the Psyshock and do a lot of damage. And he roosts here, so I was like, alright. And I was thinking he's going to roost, so we click Psyshock again to see if we're going to be 2-hit killing this thing or not. Because I couldn't tell by that roll. I'm bad at telling these percentages. But after this, I could definitely tell that we weren't. So, and especially after Psychic Terrain goes away. So we switch to get Regenerator of our own, and we go into our Kyurem, expecting him to go for an Electric type attack, maybe Thunderbolt or something, or maybe a Volt Switch, and he goes for a Toxic. So like, okay, this is a bulky Zapdos, for sure. So I was like, alright, we can still stick around for a little bit. We are Scarfed. He won't want to switch in his Tapu Lele on anything we do. So he's got to make a sack. So we click Ice Beam, because if he stays in, he dies. He goes in, but he decides to go into his sack off his Tangrowth, which it was a decent play, but at the same time, for me, that worked out way better, because that was the last wall he had to my Landorus Therian. And so Landers is looking like a clean win condition right now, and so we decide to stay in and see what he goes into. He goes into his Infernape though, and he switched this in mostly because he knew that he could force me out, and I don't blame him for that play. It was a good play. We switch out into our Suicune because I wanted to see if he was physical. This is our physical wall, especially to Infernape. But he goes for Nasty Plot, and I'm just sitting there going, oh gosh, are we about to get swept by Nasty Plot and Infernape? I was like, nah, well, we've got Kyurem in the back. And then he breaks out the all-out pummeling. I'm like, oh no. He had to. So that tells me he has Focus Blast because, as you're about to see, first off, he's a +2, which is already crazy that Infernape is Nasty Plot. But then he goes for this all-out pummeling, and I'm like, alright, maybe we'll live this because we're a Suicune and we're fat. Let me tell you, Suicune does not take a +2 all-out pummeling. Not at all. So I was like, you know what, this thing is special. We're going into our Reuniclus because we can easily chew most special hits. But I'm like, he's at +2. Overheat is going to do a crap ton to us, but maybe we'll live and kill a Psyshock. No, we just drop. We drop like a fly. So 2 of our walls have gone. But I was like, you know what, we're going to go into Kyurem here to force him out because we know he's not scarred. So we can kill him off the Earth Power. I was like, we're going to force him out. Enforcements are the only thing I can switch into this Earth Power, which is Leavanny. I was like, alright, this is our moment because Leavanny is incredibly passive this matchup. It gets no coverage to hit Landorus Therian super effectively, unless it's running Hidden Power, and special attack is super bad. So we decide right now we are going to, because I'm expecting to set up webs here to slow down my Kyurem, so I switch into Landorus. Because I was like, this is the perfect time to set up and all that goodness. So he sets up sticky webs as I expect. I was like, alright, now's our chance. There's nothing he can do to us. If he goes for a Leaf Blade, it's not even a 2-hit kill. We can click Rock Polish. We click Rock Polish here, or we're going to click Rock Polish here to set up and potentially win. So he goes for Knockoff. And at that point, I was like, alright, this is game. He went for Knockoff. And because we have Z Crystal, it doesn't work. So we go for a Rock Polish, and now we outspeed his Scarf Tapu Lele. We would have outsped his Inferno with the investment we had if it was Scarfed. So that being said, he goes into Zapdos. I'm like, alright, we're going to go for Stone Edge anyway because we have to hit this Leavanny. And I was thinking if we killed Leavanny first, then it'd be alright. Okay, so we go for Stone Edge, and we end up magically hitting and killing the Zapdos. It's like, alright, we get to preserve the Continental Crush for later. He goes into his Tapu Lele, and I did a calc, and the Earthquake does like 85% of this thing. And this thing is at 76%, 75, 76%. And so we go for an Earthquake, and as you can clearly see, this thing drops. So, yummy, yummy. 2 kills for Landorus. The next switch he has is his Infernape, which, as we all know, is not going to be taking this Earthquake. He would have to be running some kind of priority to do any damage to me at this point, and that wasn't going to cut it. So, down goes Infernape, and now we're at the last stretch here. He's got his Leavanny left. I was like, I can't risk the Stone Edge missing, and I know this thing can't do much to me, but I still don't want to risk it. So we decided to go for our Continental Crush to finish off the match. Looking at that Z move, and here we go. Boom. And as you get to see, Kirito, the Landorus Therian, gets to pick up his 4th and final kill of this match, putting him at the top of the league leader list for this week, which is ridiculous. And so we pull out a nice 3-0 here against Alpha. Down goes Charlotte, giving us our first win of the season. So yeah, a nice clean 3-0 victory over Alpha, which is super cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this wasn't too incredibly long. That's all it's been for me. This has been Phantom Base. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye, guys.